Johnson owns the Upper West Side. I wrote this story down back in 1984. My wife and all my clients had left me, and after 2 months of sitting at my desk playing tic-tac-toe with myself, I figured it might be a good time to tell the world about Miles Johnson. I was about to be disbarred by the Maine Bar Association on jury tampering charges, and I was sitting in my office thinking about what life in Greenland would be like. But the gods of justice miraculously shone down on me the day my trial was set to begin. The government's only witness never showed up, never to be seen nor heard from again. I had forgotten all about writing the story of Miles and his deed until coming across it a month ago while emptying my old office file cabinets. The actual 1763 DELANCEY APTHORP deed is still in Miles' possession. I contacted him by phone to make sure he would be okay with my publishing the story. He laughed and said, "Sure. Why not? No one will believe it anyway, so yeah, go ahead. But I gotta tell you, Charlie, it'll never show up in Oprah's book club." In 1762, Freddie Johnson, a barefoot young man wearing nothing but a tattered shirt and greasy pants, landed at the Battery in Lower Manhattan with 1 British penny in his pocket. His wretched arrival marks the beginning of Miles Johnson's family in the New World, and when the Revolutionary War started in 1776, Freddie was 34 and the foreman of the APTHORP farm. Today it's known as the Upper West Side, or UWS for short. The APTHORP farm consisted of most of the UWS and part of Central Park. Today this is probably the most valuable chunk of real estate on the planet. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Bill Gates can't afford to buy it, even if they pooled their resources. I once sat down and tried to calculate its value. Miles has a full semester of junior college under his belt, and even took a math course once, but even he couldn't figure it out. Miles owns it. He has the deed for the Upper West Side of Manhattan Island. I'm not talking about some worthless piece of paper a bum on 34th Street sold him or something he picked up at a Sunday flea market downtown. Miles inherited the original 1763 deed for this land that Oliver DELANCEY sold to Charles APTHORP, the 2 wealthiest men in the American colonies, signed by them and a host of other important New Yorkers. The New York Times observed in 1910 that if this tract had been handed down in the British landed gentry system, the owner today would be New York's equivalent of Britain's Duke of Westminster. I want to clarify one more thing. This is not just the story of the 1763 DELANCEY APTHORP deed and how it came into Miles' possession. It is also a genealogical detective story. I have spent over a decade tracking Freddie Johnson's descendants in the New World and Europe. Freddie sired offspring from at least 6 women that we know of. Rebecca Franks Johnson, her sister Poyer Franks, Lucy Phillips, Phila's daughter-in-law Cornelia DELANCEY, Anne DELANCEY Watts, and Miles' direct ancestor, Maria APTHORP Williamson. Through these 6 women, Freddie Johnson left his imprint on the world for over 200 years, never to be equaled by any other man, with the possible exceptions of Christ, Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, Hitler, Stalin, and Lee Harvey Oswald. The list of Freddie Johnson's descendants that I have compiled in Book 3 is far from complete. There's probably more of Freddie Johnson's blood running through the veins of DELANCEY and APTHORP descendants than the blood of their namesakes. As for Miles, he has decided to sell the deed at auction and use the proceeds to buy a dental floss ranch in Wyoming.